Anyway. Did we start already? No, man. We didn't even start.
Hello everybody, welcome back.
You're sleeping.
That's supposed to be isolated. That's supposed to be. We are serious now. You want to close this video? We only have to do. I don't have a lot of memory on that thing.
It's loud. It's loud. Shoulders, everything we think.
And they will be light. Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today we have a special guest. This is actually a pajama party. Parents decided that we could not find the time to do this video, and we just felt like the best time would be at night. So the kids are asleep, and we decided it's a very good moment for us to do our Q&A. This video we are doing at our favorite date spot in the house, which is the fireplace. We are just gonna keep it light, and we are just gonna elaborate on the questions. Firstly, thank you to those who did send me questions. Very interesting ones, no juicy ones, like just interesting ones. But I think everybody maybe just, I think people just want to hear from Yusuf at this point. So most of the questions I am going to direct at him, unless it's like things that obviously he's directed at me. So I'm going to start with the first one, and I have it on the phone. I screenshot all the questions, and I am just going to ask, and we're going to answer as we go.
It's a privilege for me to be here on Chandre _A's channel. You need to get that underscore in. But yeah, let's do this.
Let's do this, guys. Also, I've not been posting for 2 weeks. 3 weeks. Okay, this is kind of the 3rd week. And I was low-key like feeling it. No jokes. Only because my creativity was not 100 because I was occupied with other stuff. But ask him how I am if I don't post. It's like, people think I lie when I say like I miss it, and like I miss uploading, I miss like the interaction and just like connecting. He can tell you guys, like on a Sunday it's a thing if I don't upload. Just ask him, like it's a proper thing in this house, even the kids know. But anyway, let's get into the video and get into the first question. So the first question is, what's the most important advice you would give a couple going into marriage? You're so amazing. So I think Yusuf is going to answer that.
With every Q&A, I need to just say that there's going to be rules. And one of the rules are, we're going to take turns. I'm not going to answer everything. So I will answer the first question, and then we will alternate.
Okay, cool. I like that. So I'm going to start with the first question, and that one is, what's the most important advice you would give a couple going into marriage? You are amazing. Thank you.
So thank you for thinking we are amazing. We really appreciate that. So the first or one of the biggest advices I'll give to people is stay in your lane. Most of the time people are always looking out there, what is Jane doing, what is Paul doing, what is Susan doing. But Paul and Susan, for example, they don't tell you everything, man. They
just post nice pictures.
Yeah, they post nice pictures, it looks lovely on Instagram, but you don't know they use Photoshop, tuck in the tummy and all of those things. But what I'm saying is, when I say stay in your lane, I mean like really just focus on the two of you and focus on your strengths. Because each couple, what makes couples, each couple is unique, you know. So each couple has their own path or their own way. So stay in your lane. So if there's certain things that works for you, stick to that and improve on that. You can only get better. But if there's things that doesn't work for you, don't focus on that. You know, focus on the things that works for you, and only the two of you will know what works for you. You know.
And also, like, don't let people's opinions control your relationship. If I can add to that, I would also say that you have to remember it's newly wasted. That was the question. So remember, the person you date, that person is gonna grow into a different version of themselves. They're gonna discover new hobbies. They're gonna discover new things, and they are gonna grow and evolve. You need to constantly grow and evolve with that person. And not just wake up, get so focused on your kids or your job, and just wake up one day and realize, oh my word, I don't know you anymore. You know, so I would also say that, you know, just remember that you guys need to grow together and evolve together as a couple. The second question is part one.
This is your. Let me read it for you.
Oh, this is actually really for me.
Did you always have a good relationship with your mother-in-law?
I think with my mother-in-law, when Yusuf and I dated, she was never rude. Like, I don't think she's not a rude person. But when we were dating, you know, obviously there's this woman coming into your house, she would always just like, you know, be polite, but I knew boundaries with her. Like, I always had boundaries with her, and I always knew like what she liked and what she doesn't like. There was one time in our entire marriage of 10 years that we had a small disagreement, and I just stayed quiet and I stayed away because I didn't know how to confront her, and I think it was a bit awkward for her also. But then what happened was, because of the person she is, she came to me and she's like, I need to apologize to you, is there anything I said? And so we've always had that type of relationship. And I think because of the fact that we always had boundaries, it just always made it easy for us. So I would say we started off on a good foot. And I think we've always known where we stand with each other, and we always like say I love you. We always show appreciation, and when we're not happy with something, like the one, like she will tell me like one time, you know, if something bothers her, and we will talk about it, and it will be over and done. Like, we will just move on from there.
Yeah, and for me, like, just looking from the outside it's two women that you love. As you know, the son and as the husband, but I've actually seen the two of them. It's all about also the basics, you know. It's like the small things, like small gestures, like, for example, Chandre checking in on my mom. Like, Chandre, I want even, like, Chandre chats more to my mom than when I chat to my mom. So that for me is like something great, you know. So it's not, yeah, so those are the things that works for them. It's like the basic communication, and, you know, ironing out if there is any issues, you know, and not forcing anything, and it's just
going with the flow, basically.
Going with the flow.
Something that my mother-in-law has taught me that has literally, I still teach you or I still remind you about it, is that she taught me the power of the tongue. Like, she would stop me in my tracks and tell me, don't speak that. You're not speaking life. Speak life into that situation. So since I knew her, she's always, you know, taught me that. And it's one big life lesson that I literally take with me daily. Like, when anyone speaks negative, I'm like, I do not receive that. I'm sorry, I'm not gonna receive that. But that is because of what she taught me. So we've always had that kind of relationship.
Part two of the question, this goes to you. Any tips on how to build my relationship with my mother-in-law?
I think, like I said in my video that I did with my mother-in-law on this channel, is that you have to like talk about things when it bothers you immediately. I feel, because it doesn't have time to do a snowball effect. It doesn't have time to evolve into something massive. If it's something you need to talk about, like something small, for example, my mother-in-law, literally in the beginning, she used to always say, the boys must wear morning slippers. She used to always say it. And I, like, in the beginning, I was like, seriously now? But eventually I was like, every time I'm just like, they always have morning slippers, even though they don't always wear it. But I always tell them, Ma said you must wear this. So I kind of adapt and respect like her beliefs. And if it's things that make sense to me, then obviously I will do it. But it's also just like not comparing how your husband treats his mother to how he treats you. That is his mother. Like, they have a special relationship. They need to have a bond. How he treats his mother definitely reflects on how he treats you. So I feel like, don't be the gatekeeper for their relationship. And I feel like the mother-in-law will definitely see that you are trying and that you are doing your best. I think a relationship really goes both ways, and it's very important for you to really notice and look at the small things you do wrong as well, and not just right. Because sometimes we just see, she did this, or my mother-in-law does that, but then what is it that you do? Remember, you're the one that came into their relationship. You're the one that took her son out of their home. You're the one that he chose, according to her, if I can put it that way. But if you build that relationship with your mother-in-law and not let her feel left out, then obviously it's going to strengthen your bond as a couple also. And that is why I check in with my mother-in-law and I chat to her, and I make sure I build that relationship. And I tell Yusuf also, you have to go to your mom. You haven't seen your mom or things like that. So you make sure that you cultivate that relationship for them as well.
All right.
Okay. How did we first meet?
All right, so that was more than 10 years.
Yeah, it was lots of years ago. We worked together basically. We did a Q&A on here before, and that was also a question. You might go laugh about that. But when you watch that video, because we are still like, no, you were the one. But I definitely know that I came and I saw this guy's name. I just saw his name. It was on it was in the office, and I saw his name and I was like, who's that? I didn't see his face. Then he came, and then he saw me, and he was like, who that? so it was both who that, but I was like just his name. I didn't know what it was. And also what happened was, when we started dating at work, and then he had to relocate to Joburg, and things didn't work out for us because I'm not a long distance person. But then eventually we worked out in the end. He moved back, and life happened, and he moved back, and then we started like dating. There's another question the person asked, how long did you date before marriage? I think it was about 3 or 4 years. But guys, I can
on
actually
and off.
yeah, but not really like off. There was just one off where I was just like, I'm done. I was so done. And then he sat behind the door. You remember that day? That you were like, you're not going. If I must just give you a chance. And you were like, he was like, just give me one more chance. You don't have to participate in this relationship for the next 3 months. Just after the 3 months, you can decide. And then I did. And here we are. Because I was like, okay, I will not. I was like, I'm not giving. I'm not. And he's like, you don't have to participate. You don't have to, just for 3 months. And then we did it. And look at this. Look at where we are. Tips on a long-lasting marriage. You're gonna answer that?
Yeah, we both can answer it. So
Date.
yeah, and life gets so busy with work. If you have children, Like we just got a new puppy now.
You got a new son, you should say.
Yeah, it's like a child on its own. And life really gets busy, and it's all about time management, and making that conscious decision that you're gonna spend time with your partner.
Yeah.
And you're gonna have that conversation. And it's all about also understanding what is your partner's love language. I always talk about the 5 love languages. So, and that over time also changes. So it's all about adapting to that change. When we started going out, or when we just got married, both of our love language, and I think it's still the same, it's acts of service. So,
but now it's touch, and yours is touch, and mine is and yours is touch and quality time. It's so strange because you're so person like.
No, it's touch and acts of service.
Oh, is it still there? But I feel like quality time for you also because you like it. Because Yusuf is actually, but I love that because he voices, like he'll voice it to me and he'll make it known to me and he'll be like, I miss you. I need to spend time with you. Like he gets frustrated when we know we're arguing too much and we like having too many fights. Then we would literally pause and we'll be like, he'll say, I miss you, I need to spend time with you. And for me, my love language again at the moment, I think, what am I?
Acts of service. Acts of service. Your acts of service. Like I have to tell Chandre, my acts of service
is
low. Which means I've done so much that I'm like depleted.
But the thing is, let me just say that his acts of service will always be low when we have a new range. Let's just say that.
I didn't even think of it.
So whenever we have a new range and there's then I'm hectic the first 2 to 3 weeks after the range drops, then it's crazy. So then we hardly get time to really spend together. Then he takes over a bit more of he really helps out a lot. And then it gets hectic for you. My advice on a long-lasting marriage would be date, and God at the center of it all. Gosh, there's so much to say about this topic, but I just feel like we find moments to date. Like we will find a moment, and we will just my thing is always when I feel like my love tank is empty, I will come fetch and I'm like, I just need you to hold me and I just need you to kind of with me. And when was it yesterday? Yesterday I was like, babes, I need you to hold me. And I literally just crawl and hold him and I just want him to hold me because I find comfort in it, and it's for me, it's like, it's a safe place for me. And for me, it's like, us women, we don't need to be intimate. We just need to hold and then we find minutes, something else. But I find that for me helps a lot also. And that's why I really think I maybe touch is maybe one of my love languages. Okay, so the next question is, was your pregnancies planned? Yes. All of them, right? Even the one that was all of them were planned. All our pregnancies were planned. And the crazy thing is, I'm extremely fertile. So we would plan, and the next month I'm pregnant. With every pregnancy, it's been like that.
And yeah, she'll probably just get off the pill and a month later.
Literally, then I'll be pregnant. What's the most important advice you would give a couple going into marriage? This is similar to the other question that was previously asked. I think if you know us, we would say a God-centered marriage. To be a bit more practical, we would say that every single decision, every single but every single issue should be a discussion. Sometimes you just have to talk something through with your partner, then it will even make sense to you. I find that specifically in business, sometimes I just have to tell Yusuf about it, and then I'm like, oh, but then I should do this, and then he'll say, in the past when that happened, or and then eventually there's a solution for it. So my advice would really be communication. It sounds so cliche, but it would really be communication. Like I'm not someone to communicate, or rather I used to not communicate a lot.
I would say on my side, it's about, like I just want to elaborate more on what you spoke about in terms of communication. But for me, it's about order. And when I say order, I mean like the man must be in his position and the woman must be in her position. So most people, when they say the woman must be submissive, it doesn't mean that she needs to go down on her knees. It just means that
know your place.
Know your place, and so that there can be order. And both of you agree in that order, and you have God in the center. Everything falls in line with that.
And there's alignment there.
There's alignment. So, for example, if we don't agree on something, it will definitely never ever work. Because there's no agreement. So if you agree on something and I don't agree on something, and you pursue that thing, and that has happened to us in the past, where there's no alignment and there's no agreement, you can steadily see, maybe not in that same week, but a couple of weeks or months later, you will see that that thing actually falls apart, whatever that decision was.
Because that agreement wasn't there in the first place. And also with this agreement, then there's a blessing also from God. So I think a lot of the questions is about advice for married couples, and like advice on, there's more questions about advice for married couples. And I think it all comes down to like you say, communication, the alignment, the placing God at the center of it all. And I also think something that we may be not mentioning is you touched on it now when you said that know your place. Now, know your place would be, for example, I personally feel like we don't have a super traditional marriage. I think that we really try and accommodate each other where we can best. To the point where Yusuf's like, this is a hectic week for me, he'll tell me on Sunday, this is a hectic week for me, I need your support. So he communicates that with me a week before the time. And I would know, no matter what I have planned for the week, if there's hectic things for me for the week, I need to slot it in that I maybe do it in the evening when he's home, or I try and work it in that week. When I know I'm launching, then I would communicate with him, babes, I'm launching in a week. We have a new drop or things like that. When I tell him, so he can see, like, for example, Zando's hectic, or so he has an idea of what's happening in my world. I have an idea because we communicate with each other. So it really comes down to that communication, that knowing your place. And there's one question specifically that Candace asked. She's like, that is, what's the best advice with regards to marriage you've received, applied, and still do to this day? Now, I'm gonna say this because in our previous video we did mention this, and the video, and we said in the previous, we said, my grandmother said, talk about your issues before you go sleep. Now, when we were, you mentioned this earlier, when we were dating in the beginning, we would talk it out. Listen, you can be tired, you can be frustrated, you can be angry, you can be whatever, you talk it out. Talk through the issue. Now that we are more mature in our marriage, we understand each other. I know for a fact Yusuf needs to first cool off, he needs to calm down, and I, for example, know that I am still sensitive about it, so let me just have a cup of tea. We would still go hold each other, or maybe not even hold each other, but we will still go sleep in the same bed, but we will talk when we are both ready to talk about it. I feel like in a better mental space, you feel better, you had time to work through your emotions and all of that. So that was good advice we received, and we did it the first few years of marriage, and it really worked for us. But then we came to understand we have to talk about it, yes, but it's okay, we can go sleep, and we can talk about it when we are ready and we feel better, Here's another question: what keeps your marriage healthy and strong? I'm definitely gonna say that Yusuf is a massive support. When I say support, I think he really contributes a lot. Like I sometimes say that, like when it comes to the kids, sometimes they will go straight to him, and it's not because of the fact that that they are boys and they, want to go to daddy, but it's because Yusuf is very solution orientated. The boys know that when they go to daddy, daddy's gonna sort it out, daddy's gonna do it now, and it's done. When they come to me for cuddles and stuff like that. That's something else. But supportive, I think like you have to support your partner in what they do. Sometimes it's not exactly what, like there's times when we disagree on things, but he will try and reason with me, and he'll understand, but he'll still support me, and then we'll talk it through and we'll see, oh okay, and then once we get to an agreement, then the flow just goes naturally, So
but like for me, it's I always said, man, like even when we were dating and stuff, I always wanted somebody that has the same vision or the same work ethic that I do. So what that means is choosing your partner wisely is also very important, because now you choose someone that doesn't have the same work ethic as you.
Oh gosh.
And then you're gonna be dragged. You're not gonna grow as what you're supposed to grow, because that person, because of their inability to work hard, or because they're choosing to be lazy, it's gonna stagnate your growth as a couple. So that is also very important. To have somebody that has the same vision and values and ethic as what you do. You see, where marriages fail is where the one person don't bring their side.
Yes.
Because it's two-way thing.
Yes.
It's because most men, they feel that, okay, I'm the head of the house, I want it like this and like this, I'm the king here, I'm the boss here. But that person fails to understand that it's a two-way thing. It's not just being the head of the house where you can just dictate. You need to lead from the front, and leading from the front involves you acting
and earn respect, okay? Because that is also very important. And when you mentioned that earlier, I feel like sometimes people settle. They settle for marriage because they were asked.
Or they settle for less. There's that song, settle for less.
Because they were asked their hand in marriage, and now automatically they have to say yes. And then also some women also feel like it's the biggest blessing to be asked to marry someone, because now you have chosen, almost like it's the ultimate goal, you've reached and achieved this
but
goal.
it's also maybe like somebody marrying someone for the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
So for example, that person is financially sound. So now the person marries the person that is financially sound, but finances doesn't solve everything.
Yeah.
Because that person that is maybe financially sound, he's expecting you to be the slave.
Yeah.
Because he's now
bringing in the money.
He's bringing the dough. So that's where it becomes trickier. That's where choices and all of that stuff, and
just choose well, and just really know.
And don't be in a hurry.
Yeah. Know what you want in a partner. Choose well, and if it's something that puts you off in a partner, don't ignore it. It's a red flag. Don't ignore it. If it's something that really means a lot to you and the person's not doing it, just please don't ignore it. The next question is, how do you keep the fire in your marriage with 3 kids and 2 hectic schedules? Listen, when you say hectic schedules, it's really hectic. Both of them. Because it's really hectic. I think, like I said, the support is one big thing for us. The communication is one big thing for us. But I also really feel like sometimes, Friday, Yusuf just forced me to go to bed. And he literally forced me to sleep and rest, because I came from a night shift and I've been working almost non-stop. And he just forced me. And I feel like for me, it's genuine. It came from a genuine place. He really sorted out the kids, made sure they're quiet and sorted and things like that. So it came from a good place, and you just want to return that to your partner. So I feel like because he really is genuine about me and my well-being and and our family, I think because I know it, I want to do the same. So we're constantly accommodating each other as best as we can. Like, I know this is a big deal for you now, making this video, but it means a lot to me, so you will compromise in this way. Never mind the fact that we disagreed before we sat here because we were like, are we really doing this? But he eventually decided, you know what, it's something you'd love for me to do, and I'm gonna do it for you. So do you want to answer anything on that?
Yeah, keeping the fire, for me, it's about, you need to be also a little bit unpredictable. Because if you're too predictable, and when I say predictable, like, yes, routines are good, but you must also, like, for example, one day just say, let's do a movie night, or let's do let's put the children to sleep and let's just have a romantic one-on-one.
I think what lockdown has taught everybody is that you don't have to spend money to date your partner, and you don't have to go all out. Like, the simple things really matter. It is one thing that lockdown has taught us. This is a sweet one. How do you guys manage to say a power couple? I think personally for me is the fact that this is a compliment actually, so thank you. I think that we really honestly try to be there for each other and support each other and be present when it comes to each other. When the one person is like, we communicate that I miss you, like I said earlier, we communicate that let's just do this together. Like, he's telling me we need a night away. Can we do a night away? I need to spend time with you alone. And it's not necessarily about intimacy and things like that, but it's really about him wanting to look in my eyes, him wanting to have a conversation with me. And that for me is, like, for me that is big, because he wants to take out time to be with me. So that contributes to me wanting to do the same for him. Sorry. Oh gosh, listen to this one. Do you plan to have more babies? We have a puppy now, and Yusuf's been spending so much time with this puppy.
Very therapeutic.
They have been asking me, like, babes, do you want another baby? Like, what is this?
Very therapeutic.
He says therapeutic, and he's been up with this puppy at night, guys. It's just, I'm concerned. I'm
You shouldn't be concerned. The puppy is really taking a lot of stress away from me.
That's a good thing. Then, who is the strictest parent? Definitely Yusuf. Definitely Yusuf. And that is why the boys always go to him. It's the craziest thing. Kids love structure. The boys, like I say, they cuddle with me, they love me, they want to be, like, I must just do all that cute, and they just want to be, like, get lots of love from me. But when it comes to anything structure-wise, homework, anything else, it's Yusuf, because he's extremely strict. Like, some days I'm like, that was necessary. Like, no. He doesn't give the boys hidings and stuff, but he is like they know when it comes to, do you agree, you are the strictest parent?
Yeah, look, there's reasons for that. I don't want to raise children that are spoiled. Look, we're working hard so that we can give them a good life, but giving them a good life doesn't mean that we need to, that everything must just fall in their laps. Because when we grew up, I'm sure you can testify to that, we had to work for everything. So for me, it's just teaching him that work ethic.
Yeah.
Like hectic stuff, it's just like, cleaning up, sweep up, hang
Like
the
your
washing,
bed, hang the washing, guys. I was like, what the hell is this? They hang the washing, and he told me the other day, he's like, they can do it. And I said to him, are you crazy? Why would you know? And I said, Chandre, they've been doing it. So it's like, but what he does is he has almost like a reward system type of thing with him. And his parenting skills really definitely is very different to mine.
So I've got this thing where I say, work hard now so that you can play later.
Yeah.
So they love watching, YouTube,
Netflix
and playing games. So for me, it's they can do it the whole day. if they can, and it's not healthy for me for them to be whole day looking at screens and watching YouTubes and Netflix and all of that stuff. So for me, it's just you can balance the day. You know, you can spend half the day, you know, playing outside, a certain amount of time doing chores. So the strictness comes in where I just want them to be structured and balanced, you know.
And they, as little as they are, they would say, like, Mom, I'm responsible for this now. Like the words that they would literally say, I'm responsible to sleep inside. Or Mom, like they know the one must clean the table, the other one needs to, you know, after dinner, you know, clear the table. Clear the table. So they have like the little chores and things. But it's all like manageable, don't worry, we're not abusing them, but it's just that to me it's still shocking. Like I'm like, they're my babies, like I still have this in my head. And then he tells me, no, they've been hanging in the washing like more than a month now, what do you mean? So it's like very raw. And like the way he raised the boys also is very different to like what I had in mind or like what I have in mind, you know. But I also feel like I need that type of structure, because I would be babying them. Like I still call them baby, come here. And they're like, Mom. Noah's at the stage, Mom. Because they're literally not babies anymore. There's two more questions. How do you deal with tantrums from the boys? Parenting is very difficult.
Yeah,
it's very difficult.
There's no.
We now have they have code words. When the one has a tantrum, was it Aska?
No, if the one doesn't listen, there's a word that we use, and that's like a trigger word to realign them to listen.
So the person knows when you say that word, they shouldn't be
Not
naughty
listen.
or throw a tantrum or. And also Joshua, since he has a puppy, he's been so different.
He hasn't cried once.
Wow,
right?
guys, and also he's just like become this different child.
Yeah.
And I'm so
More
happy,
balanced.
very, and I'm so happy we got him the puppy. Like I feel like it's the best thing we could have done for him. And he feels, you can see like he's very impressed. We call him the dad, you know. Your puppy daddy, like we say, like there's your puppy going daddy, or you know what I mean. So we always try like also boost his confidence with it, because we also saw that that was something that he also needed some work on. There's one more question, and the one question is, what do we like the most about each other? What do we dislike the most? Oh gosh, we need to be quick because we're running out of time. So what I dislike the most about you, sir, I was like dislike first. What I dislike the most about Yusuf is that sometimes he's like too structured and too strict, and then I'm like, what the hell? Like, sure, just calm down, just chill, because he believes in order. Now, when I say strict and structured, I'm mostly referring to like decisions I make in business or things I do with the staff that he doesn't always necessarily agree with, or certain decisions I make. From a management perspective mostly, because he's been a manager like for years and had big teams and things like that, so we disagree on that a lot. I just feel like my management style is totally different to his. So that what I love the most about Yusuf is again that he has the most caring heart. He's considerate of people. He would literally put his needs aside over and over again, and not just like for me and the boys, but when it comes to people, he would always, you know, consider how people feel, consider, you know, but still in a assertive way. Like, how do you do that in a assertive way, man? How on earth do you put people's needs aside? And he's very like open-minded about stuff. Sometimes I think us women can be extremely petty, and you just be like, I don't have time for cats. You just tell me, I don't have time for cats. I'm sorry. Cats meaning woman and woman, like then he's just like, I don't have time for that, Chandre. And he would just continue like normal with life. It's the most amazing thing. You can go now. What do you dislike about me?
I'll start with the like. So you always keep the best for last. So what I like about Chandra is the energy, positivity. I've seen many occasions where a business, for example, isn't doing as like over the years. I've seen a business sometimes the business goes up and down. So I've seen where sometimes the business is like down, 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 down. And she would just resuscitate that business with her positivity
Like
and
it
her
would literally
energy.
be dead.
Yeah, it will be like I'll be like, oh my god, we need to
Close
close
it.
now, and then she'll just
Revive
like
it again.
she'll just revive it with a positivity, and I think people feed off of that positivity that she does have. And I'm glad that she's directing her positivity to this YouTube channel, to platforms on Insta and on social media. What I dislike about Chandre is the time management. Chandre.
All my clients will say the same.
Chandre has the worst time management. Like, if there's one thing about Chandre, like, I had an example, I had an appointment last week. And
I was early.
You were early because I had to tell you
Like
a million times.
I feel like you lied about the time.
No, I didn't.
Oh.
I didn't. But I had to tell Chandre a million times about this appointment that I can't be late for. And if I didn't tell her the importance and stress the importance of this appointment, she would definitely rock up
I'm
here an hour
laughing about
later.
this, but it's been the one thing that I have been working on my whole life, isn't it? But there's no change.
Yeah, I think you've got African time.
Like, I can't put it into words.
And it's not something good.
It's not something good. So I'm not going to even explain it. The last question.
Wasn't that the last question?
No. So social media thoughts. As a couple, or for example, as in general, I think social media is very interesting at this stage. It's the best platform for businesses. I feel like we have all the tools we ever needed, at our fingertips, basically, to build a business, to build a brand, to make money, to learn stuff. And that's the positive side. The negative part about it is the fact that, people, what they put on social media, and I'm probably one of those people too. It's highlights of our day. It's highlights of our lives. I try to be very raw and very real. Like, I don't have a lot of down days. I'm hardly ever sad and stuff like that. But when I am, the world will know. Not because I wanna, for attention purposes, but it's just like it's normal to not be okay. I'm always like, normalize not being okay, normalize not always looking amazing, normalize things like that, and that is my thoughts on social media. I also feel like I post a lot and things like that, but I listen to my mental state or my body when I know it's time to just retract a bit and just not post. Like, I'll post maybe on weekends, for example. I won't post a lot. Some weekends I'll post and things like that. I think you have to manage it as a person, as a couple. I think that social media as a couple can influence a lot of things, but I think it's very important to just be lighthearted about it. The funny thing is, Yusuf has now been motivating me to do shorts on YouTube because he watches it a lot. So he's like, he'll for example see my WhatsApp statuses. So I still get excited because he'll watch my status. So just before this, he watched my status. He's like, ooh, because he didn't see footage because I didn't see him today. And then he saw this and he was like getting excited about it. So I love the fact that I can make my husband excited about something, So it really has, it's give and take, But anyway, guys, we're running out of time. I just want to say thank you so much, babes, for doing this video with me.
Thank you for inviting me.
And yeah, we hope you guys enjoyed it. And mwah, bye.